Hello, everybody. This is Kevin from Audio Digital, and today I want to introduce you to something that I consider to be a hidden gem from Arturia. Now, Arturia are known for their hardware synths, their hardware controllers, and also, of course, their software emulations. They make really accurate emulations of a lot of different classic synthesizers, and they even have a piano emulation here. And but what you might not be as familiar with is the Analog Lab product. Now, this comes with a lot of their controllers and so forth, but this might be something that you would want to look into even if you buy it outright. It's very affordable. And this product has the exact same engines as all of the other emulated plugins, but it just limits some of the editability. But you get a huge library of authentically emulated analog and other sounds, classic sounds. It's done really well, and I recommend it for sure. Let's take a look at it and see what we can do with it. Okay, so let's take a look at the interface here. We have a huge library of sounds here. You can see here over 5,000 sounds. And keep in mind, these are not samples. These are all emulated sounds. And if we look at the kind of cool studio scene here, we can see the variety of instruments that you're getting sounds for here. Some of the highlights for me, at least, we have the synclavier here. And this is like the original FM synthesizer. It has a lot of sounds from the 80s that you will recognize. And when it was introduced, it was like way too expensive for most people unless you owned a studio and had a good amount of money. But it's a fun thing to check out. You have your Prophet here, your Prophet 5, and also your Prophet VS. For some nice analog sounds. You have, of course, electric piano. Couple of different ones here, actually. You have your B3 organ, of course. Got to have one of those. This is an ARP to 2600. Of course, you need your MIDI Moog. And you actually have a modeled piano here as well. This is not samples. This is a physically modeled piano. And it actually, to my ear, sounds a little mushy sometimes. I think I prefer heavily sampled pianos. But the thing about this guy is that you can vary some of the parameters and get some piano-like sounds, but do something a little different. Here's like the hardness setting. I can turn up the hardness, get a brighter sound, or I can turn it down really low and kind of get an otherworldly sound. So there's a lot of creativity that you can get out of this emulated piano, even though it's not maybe your most accurate piano sound in the world. So let's look at the browser. The browser is laid out quite well. You can look for sounds by type, by whether it's factory or not, the different characteristics. You can look under the different types of instruments if you want certain instruments solely. And then you just click on it and you can start playing. Got a Vox Continental here. So it's easy to navigate and to get to the sounds that you want. There's also the ability to layer sounds on top of each other. If you click here, you can, right now I still have that Vox sound. And let's say I want to layer an ARP sound on top. I can just find one, drag it and drop it on the second space here. Then instantly you get a fatter, much cooler sound, and you can save those as well. There are also many of these layered sounds within the library itself. So that's really robust and it's a lot of fun to work with. As you can see down here, we have controls. Now this is going to be unique to which controller you have. And I have a Keylab at 25, so it's showing me that there. But keep in mind, you don't have to have any Arturia controller in order to use this. You can use it with pretty much the same functionality with any controller or with no controller at all. But again, as I said, it does come with many different of the Arturia controllers. So if you have one of those, you probably already have this. And so, yeah, start using it. So all in all, this is really powerful, and it gives you a huge library of classic sounds, which are going to be helpful regardless of the style of music that you're doing. If you are doing some stuff that requires you to use classic sounds, and of course, you kind of have to have something like this. But even if you're not into kind of classic synths, mixing them into your productions, if you're doing EDM music, if you're doing pop music, whatever you're doing, hip hop, you can use these sounds in those sorts of productions and they will blend well and they'll add some character. And these, you can make a lot of these sounds with modern plugins. That's not impossible to do at all, but there's going to be a difference to the character. They put more attention to detail to emulate these synthesizers at the circuit level. So they're going to tend to have more character than if you just try to do a classic style sound within a modern VST plugin or whatever kind of plugin you're using. So what about the cons to this guy? Well, one of the things is that you have a limited ability to edit your sounds. So for this sound here, I can adjust a filter, resonance, just tremolo, but the parameters, excuse me, are chosen for you. There are 20 in all, and you can assign any of the 20 that they give you to any of these different sliders or knobs. But that's all you can do. If you own one of the Arturia plugins that are within, where the engines are within Analog Lab, you can use that full interface for whatever product you own. But if you don't own any of them, you can't edit any of these sounds using the full interface. But again, especially if classic sounds are not your main thing and you just want to have access to some to add some variety to your compositions, you probably don't want to learn entire interfaces, and you probably don't want to spend all that money and time and energy to make the most of those interfaces. 20 parameters is pretty generous, I believe. Another con, though, is that a lot of these synths are very hard on the CPU because they're emulated. This one right here is not too bad. I've noticed that the Matrix 12 presets, let's give it some strings actually here, can be pretty heavy on the CPU. So some are more so than others, but they're all generally kind of, demanding. So that's something to keep in mind. It's pretty CPU hungry in general. So in conclusion, Audiolab is, in my opinion, the best way to get a huge set of high quality emulated classic sounds into your productions for the most economical price. At $90, 5,000 emulated sounds is something that few people can afford to pass up. So I recommend this highly. So thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to leave a like, and if you like this kind of content, subscribe, and please leave your comments and questions about this video or anything else you want to discuss. Thank you again for watching, and have a wonderful day. Bye.